Well, I came to see Rob Davis's installation. In this particular space, talking to space, takes a bit of time to get used to because it's like being in a little room, and yet it's a very special room. It's got a big history to it. And it's strange because you come in out of the daylight and you walk into a black hole and you can't see where you're going first of all, and then there's this strange kind of mesmeric thing going on in the background, and you sit down, you find a seat.
It's very interesting being in the horse hospital. It's pitch black and you're surrounded by other people all sitting watching. It's quite quiet. You hear the pinging of the noises as the numbers flash up onto the screen, so it's quite an interesting soundscape. And initially it's quite mesmerizing. You're staring at the whole screen with all the different numbers and movements and so on, and then gradually your mind starts shifting to thinking about, how's he doing this? How does this work? I'm going to follow this particular number across the screen and see what happens to it, and try and suss out how the process is working, what's going on. I've seen all sorts of animations with numbers.
Black screen with multicoloured numbers on it.
Sequence of numbers.
A series of numbers.
Changing and a mutation.
Different patterns with different sound sequences.
And some of them float around. Some of them are in big sort of circles, some of them are in lines. All sorts of different variations.
It's a huge amount happening, and yet it's very little happening. That's the beauty of it in a way. I was really intrigued in the relationship between the sound and the picture, and the animation. And it seems at first to be random, and then after a while, because the whole thing's very hypnotic, after a while you start to realise that actually it's very carefully synced together.
I felt really a sense of like calm, I think, more relaxed. It's like it's such a big subject, but it's still relaxing. It's not really a big deal.
It was very nice to sit down in the dark and to hear these lovely sounds and to see these lovely colourful, gentle, hypnotic images.
Very relaxed. The sound was quite spacious. So my feelings were being completely comfortable in the space, being intrigued by the space and by the film in that particular space as well.
It made me feel engaged. It made me feel like the sound and the look of something that was going on extremely internally inside me already.
Soothing. I think the biggest thing is to me it's very contemplative. So I feel very calm, serene almost. It's very pure and clean. It's it's just everything is pared down and you're just dealing with the basics of life, Numbers is a language, music is a language, and it's really been pared down to just those components, and it's actually such a kind of orchestral piece.
When you first sat down, you'd see it in a certain way, and because it continued, your mind would engage it and start seeing it in different ways, or notice things that you wouldn't notice normally.
And of course, while I'm sitting there watching it, I'm thinking, okay, number eight, what is it about number 8?
A process that it's not quite sure when it began or when it ended. It's just constantly going on. And there's kind of order in the chaos somewhere.
The numbers. There seems some particles, like cell, body cell.
It just reminds me of this notion of infinite space, combining two elements, the most basic elements of sound and numbers, which governs everything.
My favourite piece is the red, green, yellow LED display where it takes up the whole screen, so it's quite visually awe-inspiring. It kind of hits you, particularly in the blackness of the place.
What I call the big block of numbers.
With a whole screen full of numbers. One where it's quite twinkly sounding, quite relaxing, a little bit sort of Eastern sounding.
With the lines.
Well, what's really interested me is the floating numbers.
When they are moving around and hitting each other and making kind of random sound.
the blue and yellow floating numbers.
The floaty one.
The floating numbers.
The colours, I found the use of colours very fascinating because I was very taken. I think the one that sticks in my mind is the deep blue. It's such a rich colour.
I really like the sounds. I think they go really, really well with the image.
And then I also liked the round ones where they were sort of, I was about to go.
The circular one.
The circle.
I liked the circular one because it reminded me also of something slightly sinister, of a film noir, you know, so something's going to happen, so you've got this slight expectancy of danger looming, which was actually something that I didn't expect numbers to conjure up.
I think I found something intriguing in all of them. I wouldn't like to pick one and say that it was my favourite. I think they all drew me in different directions. His work is extraordinary, and I was really fascinated to see it.